All right. And we, you and I, you and me, we're live. I'm actually, I'm not even gonna tell you where I am right now. I'm in the house, but I'm not gonna tell you how I'm laid out. I'm gonna let your imagination just I'm gonna let you I'm gonna let you place me where you think I am in my home. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the reason why I just decided to download this, what is this called? Voice Memo Pro or something like that. And threw on my Apple headphones and just decided to chit chat with you. Now, obviously, I'm talking to myself now, but it's almost as if I'm talking to you right now, even though you're probably hearing this days or weeks after I recorded this. But been having a few sleepless nights the past, I don't know, going on maybe a week. It seems like almost a week. And it's a combination of things. I mean, I'm a little stressed out about a certain situation right now, but I know that's gonna when I get to the other side of the situation, which is gonna be like probably like today or tomorrow or the next day. I know it's gonna be a load off my shoulders. It's just someone I have to confront, some situation I have to confront, but it's not a bad thing. It's just something I'm kind of putting off. Um, I have a tendency to do things like that, just like regular people, right? It's one of my things. Is procrastinating, putting things off that I'm not jazzed about dealing with, um, but I'm going to deal with it. So that and as a result too, from I do have something to talk about. Um, I've been having this dream. It's weird. It's like not that the dream is weird, but it's weird that in this particular dream I keep going to this house, this like apartment, and the apartment is weird. It's like it seems like it's like 4 or 5 stories, and it's almost I don't even know how to really break it down. It's almost there's like a bunch of rooms, but the way the stairs and the rooms are kind of set or settled, it's weird. It's not like a regular home where you walk up the stairs and then you'll see like rooms where rooms usually would be. This place is weird. It's like you'll find a staircase like off centered or like somewhere like in the middle of kind of like the middle of the house, and then you go upstairs and then you go into a room instead of going to like a hallway. There's like a room, and it's always like somebody's room. There's just one particular, and it's like a room, and then from the room you can go out and kind of go into another room, and one room leads to another room. Now that I'm talking about it, it's almost as if there's no hallways. It's just a bunch of rooms, and it's always as if I'm in someone else's room. And it's the same exact place, the same exact house. It's like a 4 or 5 story house with a bunch of stairs leading to people's rooms, which leads to other rooms, which leads to other weird staircases, which leads to other rooms. And I've had to have had this dream for. I mean, I had to have been in this house at least. I want to say 7 times now. Which I mean, for a dream, I mean that's a lot of times. Like to have a reoccurring dream, and you keep going back to the same place. And when I wake up, I try to do some investigation on what that may mean. And I kind of think I do know what my mind and my brain is kind of telling me, or and I think I know why, and I'm not going to share that with you now. You have to wait till the next the next late night radio show. But I just thought that was super interesting. The brain and the conscious mind is I'm super interested in those topics. I've always been into philosophy, and I think philosophy led into personal development in the 90s, and then personal development led into fitness, and then fitness led into diet, nutrition, and consciousness, and even more philosophy. And I've always gravitated towards those things. I've always enjoyed spending time with those things. So even like all the books that I read are pretty much all personal development, motivational, business type books. Make sure I'm still recording here. Yeah, boom, we're Gucci. Turn that up a little bit. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, think that's pretty interesting. I probably, when I finally do fall asleep tonight, I'll probably go to the same place in the same room. Which now that I'm talking about, I actually hope that I don't. I think I'll get freaked out if I'm in this house again. But that actually leads to another topic I can uh, entertain you with if you if you're feeling entertained, if you're still listening to me. Um, in regards to photography, in regards to I guess I'll speak about photography, but any kind of creative skill. But since photography and film is primarily like my creative muse, or what I use to create images and different things, I get questions from budding photographers who want to know how to like develop their skill, like their voice, or how to get their work to stand out. And one thing I've been getting since I uh, got into photography in 2000, beginning of 2015, end of 2014, beginning of 15. Since I started taking photos, people have been telling me that they can immediately identify my work, meaning it has a certain look, right? It doesn't look like everyone else's work, and I hate to talk about my work because I always feel like I'm being kind of like a douche talking about my work, but I'm just I need to tell that part of the story so I can like kind of get to my point. But people have been telling me that it's distinct, like they can tell when it's my work, that I don't have to have my name written on anything. If they see it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, they know who made the work. And I've always been I feel blessed to have that been blessed with that ability to create images or entertain people with a talent that I have. And I think the reason, in my philosophical mind, one of the reasons why my work looks distinct is because I use influences outside of photography, and not on purpose. Not that like I, you know, get like purposely gather information or things that have influenced me, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to copy off of that, and it's just I know, from growing up the type of music that I listen to, or the certain artists, as far as graffiti or painters that I've always loved, or artists have musicians pretty much write music, right? Or film directors or movies that I've loved, or music from certain movies, or different music videos. Like I think I mean I don't think I draw on things outside of photography that have inspired me, and in turn, make sure I'm recording here, and in turn, this is my first time doing this, y'all, so you have to excuse me. I gotta check the levels and all that. But in turn, I um, use that to create images. Someone told me the other day, and it was a nice compliment. They were like, you're not really a photographer, like you're an image maker. Because I know what I want. I'm not a technical photographer, and the reason me knowing the vibe that I'm trying to express um, makes my work distinguished, because I'm not trying to just be a proficient photographer with sharp images. I mean, a lot of my stuff is not even in focus. So like my portraits, I mean, it's in focus enough, but like they're soft, and the way I process them is has a lot to do with the things that have inspired me, or just like my mood, or my personality. They always say your work should speak for you, or like you, every piece of work that an artist puts out should have his or her personality within the work. And I think it does. I'm actually looking at a wall of my work now. I'm definitely speaking, and not on purpose. Like I don't take pictures to say I'm going to speak to people. It's just any picture I take or any video I shoot, um, I do it unapologetically, if that makes sense. Like not with a vengeance, but I never do it to try to please um, a client, or you know, a brand or anything like that. Like I make stuff because this is how I want it to be made, and which gives me the freedom to express myself that way, and which is in the end of the day, which is why my work looks so distinct. So being as though I've been into philosophy and personal training and all that stuff I told you, my work is forever evolving, another thing I love, which I think happens when you have the freedom to create what you want to create, because there's no handcuffs on what you can and cannot create. So it's always evolving. And I think a part of my work, from photography and film, has a lot to do with the freedom of personal expression. So even in my portraits, like if you notice, if you've seen some of my work, if you haven't, go to joshthornton4.com, Josh Thornton and the number 4.com. Check out some of my work. But even my portraits, they're not posed. They're not. It's not me posing my will on a client and having them, look the way I want them to look. Part of the appeal of my portraits is that I'm almost able to get the real person to shine through, if that makes sense. Like no matter who I'm with, you get to see who Alexi is. I'm just saying these names. So looking at them on the wall, or Victoria, or Reese, or Ian, or Georgia, or Amelia, or Mariel. You get to see who you get to see these people's personalities through my lens, which is, I think, is a beautiful thing. It's like through my filter, through my artistic expression, which my expression has a lot to do with, again, personal expression. Like I want people to be free enough to voice their opinions, and to express themselves. Like I love the concept of freedom and self-expression. So because I'm into that so much, in personal development and all the things I grew up learning and listening to, when I take someone's portrait, that is the thing that I'm looking to get from them, the real person, not the person who the photographer Josh, like, I want you to pose like this and you got to look like that and do this fake smile. No, I actually want you to look. I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough, but I want to get the real person. That's why you never see things posed. That's why the flow and like the body language is always natural in the portraits, because it literally is natural. Like the people are relaxing, or doing something active, or working out, or expressing themselves however they feel fit, or however they happen to be expressing themselves during that shoot. During that moment, that particular moment when I snap the shutter. So I mean, and even the podcast that I do, it's about self-expression. It's not me trying to tell you how I want you to sound. It's raw. It's gritty. It's real. I've never been the type of person who, which sometimes gets me in hot water, but I've never been the type of person who was able to like fake. Like I've never been a faker. Like I wear my expression on my face. Always have, always will. You can tell when I'm upset. Not that I'm a crybaby. I'm just saying, but like you can tell when I'm not pleased or when I don't want to be somewhere, or you can hear it in my voice. You can see it in my body language. Like I've never been the type that can like front on stuff. So I've always been real and raw, at least in my opinion, and is giving it to people straight. And I like when people give it to me straight. Like I'm a huge BS detector too. Like I'm so straightforward that I know when somebody's being disingenuous. Like it's like so easy. It's like so easy to tell because I'm more so looking at body language and tone of voice and what the eyes do. Like I see so many details. I think a big part of that makes me a good artist too because I see so many things. Particularly in portraits because you speak with the body. You know how they say communication is more so. I forget what the numbers are, but like 80% body language and 20% what you're actually saying. So like, me having an eye for that, I think translates into being a good photographer because I see so many things in so many scenarios. But so I tell other photographers or other budding photographers to kind of do a recon on who you are and what you like and what you've grown up being into and subjects that have nothing to do with photography or whatever your craft is. Draw upon that. Like if you grew up loving video games and you grew up listening to classical music or Motley Crue or you like the Yankees, they made you feel a certain way, or that helicopter ride you went on as a kid changed you in certain ways, or whatever it is, good things, bad things, scary things, exciting things, things that you remember, things that have affected you, things that have molded who you are as a person. I think if you take those experiences, now again, when I did mine, and I realized this in hindsight. When I got my camera, I just started shooting. Like none of this was thought out. None of this was thought out at all. So I don't know if I'm kind of jinxing it by telling people like to, like telling you or suggesting think about this stuff ahead of time and then go shoot. I don't know if I'm jinxing anybody, but if I'm not, I think it's good. It's at least a good place. It's somewhere to start. Whether it's a good or bad place to start, it's at least somewhere to start. Just start with knowing what it is you like, or what you don't like, or your opinions about life. I think I think knowing what you don't like is very powerful. It has the potential to make you a very good artist because knowing what you don't like, it's almost like your art or your creations can be a rebellion to that thing. Like I do that all the time. And there's plenty of things I don't like, and I think one of them being like being confined or people trying to tell you, well, or people trying to tell you how to be and things like that. Or working like a job that you don't want to be at, or like stuff like that. Like I hate I hate stuff like that. So I think in my work you see so much self-expression and people being themselves because I dislike the idea of someone trying to make you a number or someone trying to make you just another piece of the system. I hate that so much that my work does shows you the opposite. If that makes sense. So yeah. So that's my advice. Um, Give it a try. Take it or leave it. Either way, I tried. I tried to add some value. But let me try now. It's 119. Been talking for 19 minutes and 32 seconds at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the stop button on this. Maybe this will go out. Maybe it won't. Either way, I just felt like being creative. And actually, super late night is one of my most creative times. I feel like I'm the least stressed because nobody can call me, nobody's gonna text me. Like I'm fine to just create and be free. So, but if you are hearing this, I guess that means I released it. Either way, you guys and girls be good. Um, get out there and create something. Go be active and create. And maybe I'll talk to you on the next audio recording. Adios, my friends. You have yourself a good night, a good morning, a good afternoon, and be safe out there. Peace.